the direct benefit transfer scheme of the Narendra Modi government, since it was implemented first, in fact, in 2013, but it got an expanse and a new life in the Narendra Modi government regime from 2014. And various, estimates have been given on how much this scheme would have helped the government, how much it has helped people get benefits directly without any cuts, without any middlemen. But now we have a assessment which is coming through, which is actually putting a number to this amount. It is saying that nearly savings of rupees 3.48 lakh crore could have accrued due to the direct benefit transfer scheme since 2014 under the new government, and how the scheme has changed the lives of people. I am joined today by the author of this assessment, Mr. Shakil Bhatt, and this assessment has been published on the BlueKraft Digital Foundation. And we would like to know from you, Mr. Bhatt, that what is the basis of your assessment, and how have you arrived at these conclusions which you are putting across in your paper?
Yeah, thank you, Amanji. Thank you for having me on your portal. Basically, this DBT mission that was launched in 2013 itself on a pilot basis, nearly 28 schemes were opened in under this mission to run it on a trial basis, on the pilot basis. What happened, if you remember that the Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi ji has once candidly said in a meeting that out of 1 rupee, only 15 paisa reaches to the beneficiary. The maximum 85% of that beneficiary is siphoned off during transferring that amount in the form of the physical form, in the form of the money, hard cash, in the form of the check. But the government came up with an innovative idea that we should transfer this amount directly to the bank accounts of the beneficiary. In that direction, the government initiated certain technological interventions. One is Jan Dhan Yojana. That is the financial inclusion that every citizen or every household should have at least one bank account. Number second is the Aadhaar. Aadhaar gives you the unique ID. Where through this unique ID you can remove those bogus beneficiaries, duplicacies. And number third is the mobile penetration. If we see the present status of the Jan Dhan, about 100% saturation is nationwide. No household or no individual is left. At least every individual is having at least one bank account. Right? Aadhaar, 92% we have saturation. That gives the unique identification to every individual. There is least possibility now that he gets the benefit from multiple schemes. Number third is the mobile penetration or internet coverage. We have just increased it from 53% in 13 to 85% in 2014. In a short while of 1 decade, we have this tremendous progress in this because of this technological.
The Jam Trinity, as the Prime Minister.
Yeah, exactly. That is well known throughout the world, actually, by the name of that Jam Trinity. Jam Trinity, it is the backbone of this DBT mission. It was so much successful that presently we have about 320 schemes in the mission. Initially, it was 28 schemes with 11 crore beneficiaries, but the beneficiary has increased 16-fold. We have 176 crores beneficiaries. After assessing, after removing those duplicacies, because Petroleum Ministry has done a good exercise, Narega, good exercise for, or in case of public distribution system, we have eliminated those bogus beneficiaries by simply calculating those beneficiaries, duplicacies, bogus beneficiaries. We came at the conclusion that there is the saving of 3.48 lakh crore in just 1 decade, from 14 to 24. That amount gets reinvested in these schemes or any other priority sector like health, agriculture, education. It is because of that savings we could we were the government was able to that they rope in many more beneficiaries and schemes in this mission. This indicates the efficiency, the transparency, the reach, the governance the government wants to reach at the grassroots level. This type of analysis we have done because the data is available on the DBT portal. We have analyzed various research papers, government papers, or any newspapers. We just calculate that it came at 3.48 lakh crore. Number second.
That is very interesting, Mr. But I'll just come in there that, the rupees 3.48 lakh crore figure obviously is very, very big. It's a striking figure. And you also explain how the beneficiary coverage has gone up to almost 176 crore beneficiaries. So, for a layman, this is a huge figure, 176 crore beneficiaries getting money directly into their bank accounts at the click of a button from the government without any cuts, without any middlemen. You're getting it in an assured way. And then what's the other fascinating part I find about your study is that actually the subsidy allocations have been nearly halved, from 16 to 9% of the total expenditure. How do you think that was achieved by the government through DBT?
Before I will go on that point, I will point out one single point during 19 COVID.
Yes.
US, that's a kind of developed country. We see everybody is looking at US. They just sent the money to the beneficiaries through check, through mail. They
Mm.
just scanned those checks, papers, and then mailed to the beneficiaries. But the thing was that they have to finally disburse that amount. They have to go to the bank branch. But there was a complete lockdown. What we did, we just directly, we at the short of a single click, the amount gets disbursed to the beneficiary. That is the beauty of this direct to benefit transfer. Next, I will move on.
DBT worked in a beautiful way in COVID-19 pandemic. When people
Yeah,
were left
exactly,
at their home,
exactly.
they
And
could
more,
get money
more,
directly
and
into the.
more significantly with the PDS system. But
Yes.
yeah, exactly. I will go now on that there's a separate budget for welfare.
Mm.
Previously, it was somewhat around about 18%, which goes through subsidies. Now it is 9%. The thing is, it is a sort of contradictory here that we have reduced the budget, but our beneficiaries has grown, our schemes have grown. How is it possible? It is possible only when we have stopped those leakages here.
Mm.
3.48 lakh crore got saved in 10 years. We reinvested in those schemes. That is why we have more coverage, we have more beneficiaries, and less allocation. That means we are spending less with more efficiency. That is the beauty of this mission. That is the state of the efficiency of the system and transparency of the system.
Absolutely. And I think the key findings, if I read out of this study, basically it also says that despite, as he was explaining, Mr. Ahmed, that despite a rise in the welfare budgets, rupees 2.1 lakh crore about in 2009 and 10 to about 8.5 lakh crore, maybe in the last financial years, the subsidy allocations have declined, proportionately. That he was just mentioning how it reflects the DBT driven efficiency. Also, I think the sectoral impact, which the study points out, that food subsidies, for example, account for 53% of the total savings that we are speaking about, rupees 3.48 lakh crores. And the biggest schemes, Manrega, PM Kisan, achieving timely wage transfers as well as huge amount of savings. So this also shows, isn't it, that food subsidies maybe earlier were not being particularly well managed. The highest savings in food subsidies.
Yeah, exactly. By sectoral analysis, when we did this, we find a few schemes. Say PDS is there, PM Kisan is there, which is a poster boy sort of scheme for this DBT mission. We have other social welfare schemes, scholarship schemes. Manrega is there, PAHL is there. When we analyzed this data, we found that maximum impact was on the PDS. 53% of savings that came from the PDS only. That was because we have duplicate ration cards. We just now map ration cards with their Aadhars. That duplicacy gets eliminated. Similarly, with the Narega, the timely payment is 98%. That was just merely 24% before 2018. We pay to the daily laborers which are doing unskilled labor within a week's time period. That means that is only possible when they are directly mapped with this electronic system. Otherwise, it would have been possible that we have 94% of timely payment. We pay to the laborers after they do work of 1 week. In the next week, we disburse the payment. This is the beauty. This is the efficiency. This is the structure of the system, which puts this DBT mission on higher levels. I could.
Absolutely. As you have correctly said in your analysis, also that food subsidies, the PDS system, one of the biggest maybe allocations given in this system across India, Manrega, another major system in which these wages are sent to laborers on the ground. The PM Kisan scheme, which the Prime Minister started, under which number of nearly 2 crore beneficiaries have been deleted in this scheme as per the study because they were either not eligible for it or maybe they were duplicate beneficiaries. Fertilizer subsidies as well. So a lot of work has been done. In fact, it's a phenomenal study. I've seen the Prime Minister speak about it on a couple of occasions as well on the huge amount of savings that DBT has brought. But Mr. Bhatt, you also have some recommendations for the government on how even to improve this further. Maybe increase the scale of the DBT. Would you like to speak on that
Yeah,
as
I would like to put some points before we go for the recommendation purpose. I could say the implementation of any policy is as important as the policy itself. We have to see that whether it's effectively being implemented on the ground or not. For that matter, we have designed an index, that is welfare efficiency index, that includes various variables like what is the saving, what are the beneficiary coverage there. When we put this scale, when we back tested this efficiency through data, we found that during initial periods 13, 14, 15, it was somewhat 0.31 to 0.4%, and it rose continuously. It's going to increase, and presently it is about 92% efficiency. That is the beauty of that index. We have just back tested it, but put through many statistical tests, and that came to be at 0.91%. That indicates the efficiency, because there is complete leakage. We cannot say 100%, but there is still scope that we can improve on those factors as well. Recommendation is that what could I find during my analysis, that the proper data should be there. The primary data we collect from the field, that should be proper. As this is the age of AI, we have a lot of tools. We can structure that data in well-mannered, if we say in this statistical terms. So we can leverage on AI as well to implement the efficiency, or we can go for beneficiary identification. Right, we go for the enrollment again, because Aadhaar has recently launched an app which recognizes your face. That has not been launched in the public domain, but that is in the trial phase still. But these are the new techniques or technologies by which we can improve more and more on this mission.
Well, absolutely, Mr. Bhatt. And I think a phenomenal part of DBT, the coverage we also do of DBT, is that, the sector-specific savings that you're speaking about also highlight, there's a disproportionate impact of DBT on the high leakage programs. It's food subsidies are, as you also capture in your analysis, are historically prone to diversion. There is so biometric authentication, or be it Manrega scheme where, the government has tried face authentication, for example, will go even further in cutting down, the leakages, which may still be happening here and there. But I think the government has managed to cut it down in a big way, and definitely far more than what Mr. Rajiv Gandhi said, as you correctly mentioned at the start of your start of this interview. Just one final point, Mr. Bhatt. Would you say that, of course, the government has made big savings, but is there also scope to, as you were saying, use of AI, for example, is very, very interesting. The world is changing. How do you feel that the employment of AI, maybe by the government in DBT, could even bring better results?
Yeah, exactly. I would like to put a case study for that purpose. Presently, we are registering these beneficiaries for Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, the third phase, which is going to be, and still the registrations are going on. And after at the end of this month, they are going to close, and further process will start. They have introduced an app for PM Awas, where there is face authentication through AI. They analyze those documents through AI. When we upload certain, say, job cards, account numbers, or Aadhaar numbers, they analyze whether they actually meet with that person who we are registering on that portal. That's the one application of AI there. And number second is in PDS itself. We are doing the biometric through fingerprints. We can now switch over to the face authentication. That is the more face or iris authentication. That is the more advanced form of authentication. With time, we are going to incorporate these AI technology in our this delivery system, and definitely that is going to improve.
Well, DBT is a big success. Rupees 3.48 lakh crore saved, beneficiaries at a record number of 176 crore. That is Mr. Shakil Bhatt's analysis bringing for us. And he's also giving some very valuable advice for the government on how to expand the DBT further, bring AI, accept more modernity in this particular scheme. And I'm sure the government is listening to you, Mr. Bhatt. Thank you so much for joining us on CNN News.
Thank you. Thank you so much.